Hey guys, welcome back to another Monday video, and today we're talking about why consistency is not the key to success. Every Sunday night I send this out in my newsletter, and then on a Monday I'm aiming to read the newsletter for you because this goes into my blog posts and people are lazy and they don't like to read these days, so I'm going to do it for you. If you'd like to get involved in the newsletter, just pop down below for the link and you'll be able to get involved there. So every Monday I sit in this chair in this studio here and I watch children come in for their music lessons. For reference, my studio sits above Solihull Music School. They're really awesome at teaching music, and that's a shameless plug for my fiance who actually owns the school. Whilst I've digressed there, on a Monday afternoon at about 3:30 to 3:45 p.m. there's a little girl who comes in with her mum, and there are a few things that really stand out. The first thing is she's actually early for her lesson. She's always polite and she spends the first 15 to 20 minutes before her lesson practicing her reading. The most incredible thing is that her progress in her reading over the last 6 months has been huge, and the books that she's reading are more challenging. The question that comes to my mind often is, how much does consistency play a role in her progress? Now, I would say it's probably about 50% of the recipe, maybe even less than that. And you're probably asking me, why, Brendan? Why do you think that? Because I only see her for 20 minutes of her week, and that means I don't see her for 167 hours and 40 minutes of the rest of her week. I don't see what her school is teaching her and how much practice she's putting in at home with other subjects and her reading. All I know is that for that brief moment on a Monday, she is progressing, which tells me that she's practicing more than the particular time slot on a Monday. Now, it also tells me that outside of her reading time, she is probably being challenged at school. Maybe she has to read in front of the whole class like I did when I was a kid. My point is, being consistent doesn't mean that you're going to be successful at something. Being consistent and having the right environment and the stimulus will be the best way to see progress. If she simply continued to read Humpty Dumpty, for example, she wouldn't progress. It's a cracking read, by the way. Yeah, just leave that joke out. If she kept reading, she would just memorize it. So she'd get to know Humpty Dumpty really well, and she wouldn't necessarily enhance her brain function or her progression into adulthood. The reason that I'm mentioning this is because I see people reading Humpty Dumpty all the time in the fitness industry, doing the same exercises or classes in the same gym over and over again and expect things to change. You see, when I lost weight and when I set out to recover from incurable chronic pelvic pain syndrome, a small part to the equation was showing up every day to make the changes that I wanted to see. The other more substantial part was finding the right things to do whilst being consistent for a period of time. 3 months is always a really good sweet spot. This brings me on to my final point. If you've got consistency and the right stimulus, the other element is a measure of progress. If you were going to walk to Alaska, you would need to know where you're starting from to plot your route, and you'd need to know what sort of transportation you would need to change to facilitate your journey that you wanted to embark on. That's the reason that my programs with my clients are a minimum of 3 months. I include a lengthy kickstart session to help us frame the next several touch points. People need to be assessed, then they need to be directed with structure, and then they can be consistent and they can practice being consistent with the right stimulus to get to where they want to get to. A sidebar, I might add that managing expectations is another part of the equation. If that girl showed up to school every week and just expected her teacher to read and do all the reading for her, she would probably fail at school, right? It's exactly the same with your health and fitness and movement patterns. Consistency is great, but consistency with a process, that's where the magic happens. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about how you can overcome these things, or you can put these things together, should we say, feel free to reach out to me down below in the comments. Other than that, stay strong, be consistent, and have a good structure, and keep being meticulous about your health and fitness. Okay, so that's the newsletter covered for you today, guys. Hopefully you've taken something from it. Stay tuned for more videos from me. Check out some of the other videos on my channel as well. I'm going to be posting an update for you in a couple of weeks on functional patterns, and there's a new video coming out next week on IT band syndrome, so stay tuned for that. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay strong, keep moving, be consistent, Truckster. Peace.